they said it should take. Hold up, let me see. Hey, that's the guy who fixed it. Where's the other guy? Heading your way. No, that's not him. Brother X, Zillow, weirdo. Here we go. Hey, when should the steering wheel? Let me ask you something. Does your autocorrect make you feel stupid sometimes? Like, you just misspelling basic ass words and autocorrect is telling you misspelled this basic ass word and you be like, why the fuck didn't I know how to spell that?
Yeah, it's that I don't know why it does that sometimes. Sometimes it don't spell what you're trying to spell a whole different way. I hate that shit too.
Yeah, I get mad when it does that. When you're gonna sit up there and motherfucker, I'm trying to spell what I just spelled, you bitch ass.
Right.
You done corrected me, and that isn't what I'm trying to spell. But like, I'm just trying to spell a plain word and then it corrected. You're like, why the fuck didn't I know how to spell that? Bitch, I don't know how to spell from. I kept spelling form.
What you do is you just realize that your mind is faster than the computer, and you just that you out thinking the machine. That's good.
Right.
That's what you tell yourself, yeah.
Like, as I sat there and I was like, what? I'm just misspelling like the most normal everyday. I was never good at spelling. Like I'm telling you, one of the things I hated in school was getting up, and once you get to school, they say, we're having a spelling bee today. God, dog. And they used to do it where it was just straight up embarrassing because, all right, everyone, get out of your seats. Make a line all the way around the class and stand up against the wall. And I'm like, fuck, just don't let me be the first motherfucker to not spell shit wrong. Like, as long as that other nigga, because what happened was, as soon as your black ass misspells something, you got to go sit down. So everybody looking at you, your ignorant ass. So I would sit there and I'd be like, well, if I go as close to the end, then I'll be last and somebody going to fuck up before me.
Yeah.
So it'd be two things would go wrong. Whatever side I went on the room on, okay, class, we're going to do a little different. We're going to start on that end. Son of a bitch.
Like, God damn you. Man, I remember, I think I was in the 3rd or 4th grade, and we had a spelling bee, and I won for the class. So I went downstairs, and I'm in the assembly room, and I'm going through it. My word that I fucked up was tractor. So I lost, and like, damn. So they had a little reception for all the contestants at the end. So I had some punch and cookies, so I think I'm feeling good about myself. I had some juice, couple of what's them cookies you talking about?
The Lorna Doom, boy.
A couple of Lorna Doom. I come back to the classroom. As soon as I come in and close the door, the word was tractor that I fucked up. Everybody in the classroom was like, T-R-A-C-T, and spelled the shit out. I was like, damn, I'm sorry. It just made me feel like shit.
But at least you got close to something, man. I was literally every time they would be, it didn't matter. We go around the class one time, all the way around. You feel good about yourself. Did that get to me? I spelled it right.
Yeah.
Went all the way around the class. All right, everyone. The first round, everyone spelled it right. Let's go again. I was like, fuck, I only had one in me today, bitch. I only had one. Oh.
Yeah, buddy.
Next word. It go, all right, Mike, you spell catch. And he says, catch. C-A-T-C-H. Very good, Mike. Okay, Tommy. Dude, don't call me that. My name is Thomas. You saw it, bitch.
Right.
Can you spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? You should be able to do it because everybody knows this. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I was like, white bitch, why you ask me to go spell this hocus pocus? Every time you say that shit, I swear that you was joking. I might as well go outside and start the fucking smoking. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Can you use it in a sentence, bitch? We just use it in a song. That's it.
Oh man. Boy, I tell you.
When I get the playground, I'm gonna punch whoever closest, cause I had to spell this. I was like, you bitch. All the words.
Oh man.
And since we are live, we'd like to say,
hey live.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
I love this shit right here.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of
The Guru
and the Whore. And guys,
yes, indeed.
We were trying to bounce around what we talk about today because didn't get a chance to talk about it last night because you know I'm just not dependable. Like whatever schedule I tell you we're gonna do, it ain't gonna go down like that. It just ain't. Then I told him, man, hey, we're gonna go live today at 7 Eastern, man, right at 7.
I'm like, cool, man. Fall out, man. Let's do it. It's gonna be fucking epic, man.
Hours of prepping. He hit me up this morning. We're still on for 7, right? A fucking course, man. I'll never let you down. I knew he figured some shit probably wasn't gonna go the way it was supposed to. Cause like about said like 30 minutes before the show was supposed to go on, he was like, we still on? And then I still gave him the thumbs up then. Yes. 5 o'clock hit. 5 o'clock hit out here. I said, you know, this was 5:15. Here it is, fucking 5:42.
Hey, and I can just imagine you getting the text like, yes, motherfucker, I told your ass 7.
Why you down me, nigga? But I told you I was gonna be there. You ever said that to your wife? I said I was gonna do it, and then you didn't. You just said like, I said I was gonna do it. Why is she questioning me?
What had happened was,
yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
But we're gonna piggyback a little bit after we bounced it around. We thought, well, I didn't answer any phone calls, and then because me and the young lady, that conversation, I had no idea it was gonna go there. That was never what we were supposed to be doing. I was supposed to be calling all kind of bitches and stank weave head hoe. I had it written down. I had it written down. I had notes and everything. You know how you like script the first 15 plays, and then something happened. You got to scratch all that. Now we in a 2-minute drill. The game just started. That's what happened. I was like, God, dog, what did you think of the show and what you saw? Because I haven't even watched it back. I couldn't watch it back, and I don't think I'll be able to watch it back because it was too difficult what I was going through while I was telling it. Yeah. So I don't want to see it. So
last night,
we had an argument.
You
told me you love me. What song was that?
All the things I said, I never meant.
Which song? I forgot it.
That's Baby, won't you
let me look into your soul now, baby. I want to make you lose control. If you don't mind. What is the name of that song?
Lose Control.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, Silk
by Silk.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. The song. Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break you up. I was like, why did that song pop in my head? But go ahead.
I was that's how I started. So I got to see it from a different perspective of just watching the show. I saw the video that she released, and I saw the critique you did of it and talked about it, and I was like, man, this is a classic BT 1000. I mean, I'm talking, this is prime doing it. after the initial rollout of the 1000s came out and they fixed all the bugs and had the recalls, this was that second line of the 1000 that came out.
That's the second gen.
The second generation of the BT 1000. I said, she got all of the accessories. And she even came, I said, they upgraded her engine because she was hyper. She had the Hellcat edition. She had that Hellcat edition in there. She was ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching it, and I said, man, when Tommy gonna do a show with her? I said, oh yeah. I said, we haven't had one of these in a while. So it's
I knew it was on. I knew it was gonna go down. Like that hooker I paid. Like soon as she came in, she knew it was gonna go down.
Go down.
I don't know if you've ever done that or if your wife will let you do it, but just one time, just come out the shower with the towel on. I don't know if any of you fellas out there, if you've never did it, just do this.
I played. I play the dangling guitar. I'd be like,
now I do that. I make my girl that she gotta find it. I just be doing dance like this, and she be trying to catch it. You know I can't suck your dick when you're doing that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. We're Americans, not Americans.
You can and you will.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Cat is not a word in this family.
Man, I tell you. But it was really a sight to be seen, man, to see where that show would normally go. And I was so amazed at how it went. That because I was already sitting there, I was just waiting. And even in the chat room, a couple of times I was like, direct question. And she sidelined that answer. Here we go. I said, we on our way. And she was drinking wine.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna go. I thought it was going left when that wine went to.
Yep. And it was like, and I was so shocked. And I realized what happened. The key to why it turned out the way that it turned out is the fact that she said, and she proved it, she watched a lot of your material. And so she has seen the one-on-ones. She's seen the reason why you do what you do and why you say what you say. And even though she knows what she was a BT 1000 and she actually was able to have some of her programming modified to where she was able to get through this. And I think that was such an attribute to what you do, because a lot of people talk about, well, Tommy always talking about this and he talking about that, and he tearing this shit down or tearing that down. That was a clear case that proved that what you do works. Because had she not been watching your material, had she not been introduced to you beforehand, it would have went down. It would have went down the way it normally go down. But the fact that she did, it made her be able to be open enough to even receive what you were saying to her. And once she was in a position to where she was able to be transparent with what she did and why she did it, that show just took off and went a whole nother level of just therapy. And it was such a sight to see, because I could see the growth in you, because you normally wouldn't have gave that many chances to get her shit together. And she did, though. And the fact that I saw the way that you handled her, and I saw the way that she took to the way you handled her, it made such an impactful show where you both became transparent, went the full gambit of the. There was anger, there was frustration, there was sadness, there was laughter, there were tears, there was crying. I mean, and the way it ended, it was. I was like, wow, I'm so glad that we didn't do the show last night, because it allowed that opportunity of that show yesterday.
I just knew it was going
so powerful.
I just knew it wasn't going to go well. I'm not going to lie. I didn't even want to do it. I would been sleep all day, would have fucked up. You know, like sleep is wrong when you wake up and it's pitch ass black. Like your bodies be like, man, we should just go back. My body was like,
in the books.
Yeah, why don't we let's just lay back down? But we've been asleep for so long.
Yeah.
So I got up. I was like, this is really not gonna go well. And
Yeah.
and then halfway through it, I was like, I can't believe it's going here. And I just want to thank her for being, because there's certain things that still was, like you said, was there. She's fighting the programming.
Yes.
Whenever it was questions about that baby's daddy or something, as long as he was at the end of the gun barrel, then she was cool about talking about that. If I can make him look bad, and yes, when I would go back and ask her about her, it was long, drawn out, and never answering the question. I'm like, okay, you just ain't gonna answer that fucking question, huh?
Yeah.
And I think what happened is I realized that, you can get to the point where if you're talking to a woman, allow them to paint everybody else as the villain for a little while. That's the secret of talking to a woman. Even when she's talking to you, allow her to paint you as a victim. Because I've talked to some women, I'm sure you have too, where you just couldn't believe they didn't understand what you were saying. And they would always turn it back on you. Well, why are you talking to me like this? You do know you just put a metal spike through my foot. And I'm just saying, like, it hurts. And that was unnecessary. Yeah, but you don't have to say it like that. I mean, I'm being real calm right now. I'm kind of impaled to the floor.
Right.
And I just want you to call 911. I mean, even if you don't want to do it, my phone's over there. Just look at how you're talking to me.
Well, what are you going to say when 911 comes?
Yes. It's like, so it's to me is one of the most difficult parts about talking. Because human beings don't like to admit shortcoming. It is true. It's true. But women especially, because they never really have to be held to that standard. I'm going to put a shout out to a show I just found out about today called Big Mouth on Netflix. I don't know if you have Netflix, but watch it. It's shocking. It's a story about kids going through puberty. It's a cartoon, and it's inappropriate, but it's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
But the first thing I saw when I started watching it, the first question I asked is, they're being real candid about what little boys go through, and it's hilarious. But I'm guaranteeing they're not going to do it. Now, I think I'm on maybe like episode 4, but they still haven't ventured into what girls think about as much as they venture into what boys think about. Like, they had the little boys jacking off, all the stuff that boys go through, hard dick for no reason, sexual confusion, all of that shit was in there on the boys. But when it came to the girls, it's been very mild. It doesn't talk about that. It just talks about how the girls feel different than boys, but they haven't talked about their actual lust as well, because I've never known. Most guys don't even think women like sex as much as we do, and that puts us at a bad advantage. That's why we think we have to do things to convince them, because they don't technically want it. Right. And it's like I just kept saying, while they're talking about little boys, nobody's ever going to accuse this show of being pedophilic. But they're going to have to walk a fine line when they're talking about the girls, because if they talk about them wrong, they're going to say you're sexually exploiting the females.
Right.
And it's like when we were talking last night, when she's expressing what she went through, she becomes a sympathetic figure. But halfway through talking about my life, I was like, but will they view me as a sympathetic figure? Or will they just tell me to buck up? Will they say, I mean, you grown now. Yeah, man up. Well, what do you think about that dynamic?
I think that is absolutely, it's such a problem, I think, with how we just relate to each other overall, because we have such an assumption when it comes to boys and how they feel, period. If you're a man, if you're a boy, depending on what it is, what specific subject is about, you should just do it. Buck up, suck it up, keep going. You good. You'll be all right. And if you even hint at that when it comes to a woman, how she's feeling about something, and now you're a chauvinistic pig, you are heartless, you are just such a woman hater, you have, what's the new word, a toxic male energy.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, what? The first time I heard that, like, toxic male energy because something you do or say it may be perceived as being insensitive towards a woman, so it's now toxic. It's like those type of things. They're just defaulted. If it's something bad about a man and that a woman feels should be said, or they feel is about a man, then it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's no explanation. There's no challenge to it. There's no, hey, well, let's try to understand why he's feeling the way he's feeling. There's none of that. For a woman, you're given every opportunity to get another way out, to get an escape, to get a reason why. There's something there to give you a safety valve or an outlet to say, well, this is why she did what she did.
Mm-hmm. Because
And I think that's a tragedy.
even when it described the the girls, the girls were able to lash out at everybody because of their hormones.
Every opportunity.
And we keep saying to women, it's okay for them to lash out because of your hormones. It's okay for you to lash out because of your hormones. But still, guys aren't supposed to be able to lash out like that. And last night, when she was crying, my biggest fear was, or when she was sad, my biggest fear was, well, guys go through shit like this too. Like, right now there's this big kick going around about all these women accusing these guys of sexually harassing them.
Yep.
And the dudes are losing everything. Louis C.K. just lost his deal. Kevin Spacey just got fired from a job, and they hired my man Christopher Plummer to play his role.
Wow.
Men are being put under the fucking what is that thing? You put somebody's head in it, the vice.
The grind, vice or grinder.
Yeah, you put their head in that thing and you turn it until it fucking their eyes pop out. That's what's happened to men, and they've always been that way. And I felt like I was carrying a torch while I was doing it, that I must express this and try to express this in the best way possible as a man, because you don't want people to view you as weak. But this is the thing that will make you weak, because it is a thing that in my mind is harsh. So what were your takeaways from it?
The biggest thing that I saw was the fact that she being who she is today, and when you said you're really just that 13-year-old girl who's looking for her father's approval, who's looking for her father's love, and like to this day, you will always have that craving for it. And even when you said the same thing, you're like, I'm really just this 10-year-old kid. I mean, this 15-year-old kid that's waiting for my mom to say, good job. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm proud of you. And it's like, it's such a hole, it's such a void there because you don't have that. And that even though it doesn't stop you from being who you are, but it's a pitfall. It's a limp that you always
It's a huge
have.
one.
It's a handicap you always have. You have to go through life. It's like having to go through life with your arm, stuck like this because it's paralyzed. It's like, yeah, you can still get along, you can still maneuver through life, but you always will have an opportunity where you want to use this arm, but you can't. No matter how much you program yourself to make this arm your dominant arm, you still have need to want to use this arm at some point. And the fact that you can't, it's a disability for you, and it makes you have to struggle through life harder. And I think that was one of the biggest things you said about her and yourself. And I think we don't realize that the handicaps that we have as parents, when we don't at least give our children the best opportunity by having a stable home, by having a good wife or a complimenting wife or a good husband or a husband that complements the household dynamic, we tend to choose people that are either just as broken or either more broken than we are. And then we bring children into that mix. And what are you going to get out of your children? They're going to be damaged no matter what it is that they go through in life. They're at an instant disadvantage. And I think that's something that we have to be more responsible with as just people. That's a thing to where we be really careful with who we procreate with.
And that's the thing that is one of the biggest issues. It's because you listened last night, and I talk all the time. I said, well, what happens with black women is, or black people, excuse me, what happens is by the time the baby's born, we ain't together no more.
Yep.
And she was like, hold on. What? Okay. All right. Just had to make sure my phone lines are open. Guys, the phone lines are open if you want to start calling in. The number is 213-943-3362. Yes. All right, so you can call in. But when she was telling that part of the story, to justify screwing the dude with no condom and not being on birth control pills, she was like, well, it was because it's my fiance. But then when it came to the story, she was like, well, we pretty much broke up when I was like about 6 months into this thing. I was like, but I thought that was your fiance. Like, and see, that's the thing. I think two broken people can work together. I mean, shit, look at the Joker and Harley Quinn. But
look at those two.
If those aren't relationship goals, then I don't know what it are. But with that being said, you have to have two people with this. I don't care who it is. I think if you have people with the same set of goals, they can work miracles. The problem is when it comes to a lot of us, we don't have the same set of goals. That dude just wanted to catch a nut, and that woman just apparently wanted company. Neither one of them worked that thing out, because if that's your fiance, y'all ain't going to break up because you're pregnant. Two people who love each other think making a child together is awesome. That's why you can tell when a man and a woman love each other, because they have no problem. They want. It's like with my car. I don't not let no people know that I have a car. I enjoy the car, and people like people to see the car together. If I'm with a woman who I think is a beautiful woman, a smart woman, and is my woman, I wouldn't mind showing the woman off. But when I'm not showing the woman off, she's not showing me off. She tells me she's pregnant, and I'm telling her I ain't ready. Why you doing this? We didn't want each other, and I still don't understand why women, and that's why we're in this spot right here where we're having to open the phone lines up just to describe the issues you had growing up, neglected and abused in a single parent household, because the moms are saying, well, even though you don't want me, I want this kid. That's weird to me. And then when she was talking about how he was such a bad guy, all these women tell me they find out the dude ain't shit after they pregnant. I don't believe that. You knew he wasn't shit, but you overlooked it. Just like him.
Yep.
He knew the faults in you. He was just catching a nut. So neither one of us are trying to love each other. We're just trying to fill these voids that have been, they're undiagnosed. Nobody's ever told us, you have this problem. You have this issue. And if you don't work it out, it's going to remain there. So what happens is we just keep blaming the other person. Oh, the reason my relationship didn't work is because he wasn't shit. The reason my relationship didn't work is because she wasn't shit. And it took me a while to start saying, no, I ain't shit or she ain't shit. It's we ain't shit. And we ain't shit because we're doing destructive things to each other. If you see someone's broken and you take advantage of their brokenness, are you any better than they are? And I think that's what we do in black relationships. White people have a goal in mind of why they're dating. Have you ever noticed, like, you meet a white dude, yeah, he'd been through divorce, but he'd had like 4 divorces. Like, that motherfucker just kept getting married. The idea of the marriage, the idea of the family made sense to him. Then you look at us, the story I did with the 6 men who fathered all of those children.
Oh, man. Was it 87 children with 50 women or something like that? Mm-hmm.
And you notice how everybody involved in each of those situations was what? Broken.
Yeah.
They all were broken. They all were just, they all needed a reboot. and no one was giving them the reboot because everybody's telling everybody it's the other person you were dealing with's fault. We live in an era of let's blame everybody. And tonight, guys, what I want to do is not blame but discuss. Because there's an old saying that says once you know better, you do better. And we can't go around saying everything I'm doing today is because of what my mom or my dad did to me. But I do want to have people come and be able to express these things because there are a lot of people who are going through these things and they didn't know. Like when I was talking to the young lady last night, she didn't know half of that stuff. Who would have told her? Yep. Who would have told her? And even when I told her about the parallel between the man she picked and her dad, I don't know if you watched, but her first reaction was, that ain't true. Because she was like, no, like that was her reaction. No, right. No, and I had to say, but wait a minute. I had to say, but wait a minute. What did you say about your dad? What'd you say about him? Yep. And I said, these are parallels, and you picked that person on purpose, even though you weren't thinking it. You picked that person on purpose. And you have to make sure when you're doing certain things that you understand why you're making decisions.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I think we need to realize as just people is that, and one of the reasons why I love the relationship rehab platform is because it's built on the idea of saying we have to get to a place to where we realize, understand, and desire to actually meet each other, to want to be with each other. There has to be a desire to say, I want a wife, I want a husband, I want to have a healthy relationship with a person. Doesn't have to be perfect, but this person be at least on the same page with me as far as doing what's best for our family, for our children. And I think that's the place that we have to get to just start to change how we relate to each other, because that is paramount. When you have that initial goal of saying, oh, well, we didn't work out, but we can co-parent, you already putting yourself at a disadvantage. I can do it on my own. My mama did it. She raised 4 boys and 2 girls all on her own. To think that that's okay and that's a path you should take, or if you wind up on it, to just be like, oh, well, we'll make it work. Got us. That type of mentality is what sets us back and puts us at such a disadvantage. And we don't realize that the disadvantages we have as adults are the same disadvantages we're going to pass to our children. So when we get to a point to where we want more for ourselves, then we'll essentially want more for our children, and we'll make better decisions.
So what we're trying to do tonight, guys, is express, recognize, and stop. Then change. Because see, what we have to do is, there's nothing wrong with expressing something. Like somebody says you're making excuses, and I was trying to tell her last night, no, you're not making excuses. There's a difference. When you're saying what you're saying, you're just acknowledging what's there. Yep. We as Black people have to stop believing that doing this makes the shit in front of you go away. That's what I was trying to explain to her. I still don't understand why people act like when I said, like, the girl I seen, I'm doing a news report and I see this girl and I don't give a fuck what they're doing to her. Her tits were huge, but I thought she was 14. She came to my Twitter and was like, I ain't 14, I'm 19. So I don't know why I thought she was 14. I thought maybe the report or something said 14, but they were like, well, if you thought she was 14, that makes you a pervert for looking at her tits. And I was like, who is fucking making these rules? This is literally why. Hey, the young lady just donated to me. I think that's her. Is that her in there, Lady LA 404? I think that's her. I'm trying to remember if that was her. I have a weird memory. I can memorize bullshit. I think that was her Skype name. And if it is, thank you. And if it's not, then I apologize. But I think that might have been the young lady from last night. But again, and she just wrote, she said, we must do better. Thanks for understanding. But we believe that if we don't speak about something, then it doesn't exist, which doesn't make sense, because we know, okay, no dudes point out that the young girl got big tits. Does that mean? And that's what I liked about the show Big Mouth. It was saying, well, no, they don't express what they want out loud, but what's in their head. And see, a lot of times, like when the Bible says, so a man thinketh, so is he. So we have to realize you better start paying attention to what if you see it and you recognize that there's a pink elephant in the room, if you see the king is walking around naked in the streets, not saying it is not going to help. What do you think we adopted that mentality as black people to where we think if you bury your head in the sand, the shit doesn't exist. Even though you hear the stories, you see the people, you just keep on doing this.
I think there was a time where we were ashamed about certain things that went on in our family to the point to where we taught each other to keep our family secrets a secret, no matter how bad they are. So anything that came up that we thought that wasn't right, or came up that wasn't necessarily something we would want to be known, though it's true, we wanted hush it, we wanted to keep it private, we wanted to keep it to the point where nobody, it's our secret, it's a family secret, don't say nothing about it. Yeah, we know your mama was raped by her brother, but we took the kid and we raised it as our own, and ain't nobody never said shit, but everybody
right knows. Like that Poppy. I'm gonna have to redo a video. This man made a video today after me and old boy did our interview together. He made an interview, and if you listen to how he was talking about Africa Bambaataa, he was talking about him like that was his boyfriend. Like he kept saying, I could ask Africa Bambaataa for something today, and he'd give me anything. It's a great thing about Africa Bambaataa. I got love for the man. I don't want to see them bad happen to him. No. I don't know why he talked like that, but he kept saying, he was like, he don't want to see that bad happen to this man. He said, I forgave him. That's why I took the video down. I was like, wait a minute. This man raped you. You took the video down. I ain't do shit for you. You won't take the video down about me. You won't leave me alone. You keep on calling me a motherfucking pedophile, and then say you want to kill me, but you won't do this to him. Yep. Like what the fuck? So to listen to this man keep forgiving the man who actually did something to him while saying I need to die and trying to and ruin my name. I'm like, but then we have to go back to how broken we are as a people. The fact that there are people who will listen to him talking about, you're a powerful voice for people who've been molested. No, he's not. He's a fucking idiot. He's killed somebody, attempted to kill somebody else, and literally is trying to turn his so-called crusade into a couple bucks because he don't have no money. And I understand that part of it, but then don't try to talk about other people. Tommy's only trying to pay the white people. Nigga, you on now talking about some donate to me.
Here's the reason why he's just a total contradiction to himself. With what he's been through, and the fact that you want people to understand or you want to bring about awareness what happened to you, I get that part. But that's not your platform. That's not your topic of discussion. You're not out here talking about your story and what it is that's going on with you and how you have gotten through or what your journey is like or where you're at today. That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about a dude you don't know and who don't like his content, and you feel it's your duty or your job to devote your time, your energy, and your resources to tear it down. Not to challenge it, you want to tear it down because you don't like his content. You don't have to click on it, you don't have to watch it, but you still feel it's your job and your duty. That's your mission. That's a contradiction to your platform, because of what you have going on in your life and what your journey has been, that should be at the forefront. What's going on even when Israel Doctrine talked about the dude's son. His son is in crisis or turmoil or is having identity issues, and you not there for him. Even if you were to make your platform about that would be more admirable to say, well, I understand and I can see what he's trying to do. As opposed to you trying to talk about a dude you don't even know.
Mm-hmm. And literally trying to make me out to be public enemy number one.
Yes.
Like, I can understand if people say they don't like me. To try and make me public enemy number one is stupid. I didn't do shit. I didn't do shit to you.
Anybody that's out here, if you at the point to where you want to tear down or you don't like something that you are not forced to watch, you are literally not being forced to watch any of this content, and you make it your agenda and your job to try to tear it down, you're a contradiction, man. You're basically full of shit. Well, whatever you want to call it, you a fraud, you a fake, you on some other shit. You are literally just trying to tear down something that you didn't build because you're either jealous or you have some sick asphyxiation with this person, or you just infatuated, you in love, whatever you want to call it. You're enamored by this dude, you're starstruck, whatever it is, that's what it's about. Because there's no reason or no way anybody else would. Who else is doing this type of shit?
Like I said, I just think it's funny. Like, they keep putting my mom's number out there, and they know that I don't have nothing to do with that motherfucker. They know this. Because if they really were trying to do whatever it was they were going to do, they just go ahead and fucking do it. Let me read in the newspaper that you've done something. Why do you keep coming to me telling me what you're going to do to somebody else that you know I don't have nothing to do with? They know it. Yep. They just keep coming in here putting this motherfucker's number out here, which is one of the most disgusting things in the world. You putting somebody's mother's phone number, name, and address just to keep doing it. Yep. Black folks. But they won't keep their eye on the real issue. And right now we're talking about a real issue. And what you keep doing is coming here, doing that same thing. Now, it's not a bunch of people. It's probably just one person, that lame ass in Michigan. But it's the fact that you would do it. Yeah. The fact that your life sucks that much. There's supposed to be so much stuff about me that's wrong. Why would you do that?
Yep.
You love black women. You know that black woman don't believe in what I'm saying and doesn't care for my words, yet you still fuck with that person. I don't give a shit. You do it. If that makes you feel good, then go right on ahead. But the fact that you're going to sit up here, wait a minute, what the fuck was this?
And the fact that there's people who supporting that shit.
Yep.
You get those people, if those people get fan, that's supporting it, that lets you know what type of mentality you have and how disturbed you are, because you are putting your energy and your resources and supporting somebody else that's doing that type of stuff, talking about a man's child, talking about a man's mother, talking about his family, and then when you get to the point that, well, after you didn't say what you wanted to say, now you're gonna fabricate shit. I'm gonna make up something now to just say, hey, that dude that said he went to fucking
say he went to Cuba.
Cuba. I went to Cuba and met his. This is what they told me.
And after hearing that, though, the black folks still support him. So you can't say, well, we don't like Tommy because he says stuff that's whatever. You just literally listen to this white man say something that you know is a fucking lie, and you just keep on listening to it because it's funny to let him troll. Then it should be funny to let me troll black women. That everybody, because you can't sit up there and talk about my mom, talk about my daughter, talk about all these people, then say, and let's flag Tommy. So wait a minute, you get to put out my mom's number, nobody flags you because you hidden, but you didn't tell people they need to flag me. Wow.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, and we're going to get back on the subject because I'm not going to let people who troll get me off of a very important subject, and it's a damn shame at the end of the day. But I want to say this: when it comes to what goes on in single parent household, can you tell me? I know you didn't grow up like we did. Do you know of any stories, before we go to the phone lines, of the drop off between you at least have balance with two parents, and you just got a dictator? Single parent is a dictator, period.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was the thing that I experienced growing up with my friends that grew up in single parent households, or households where parents were just dysfunctional. It gave them such and it was at a time in my neighborhood where there was still a few pockets of mothers and fathers both being in the homes. There were still a few homes where there were, men around that were doing stuff, having careers and jobs and things like that. So it was fortunate for the few of us that we were able to get a glimpse of that. We were able to get some exposure to that. But for those that didn't have that, it was such a clear and present just danger to see where they were and how they lived, to where we were at least compassionate enough to where we wanted them to be around us more, to hang with us more, and to do stuff with us more. And some of those parents and those men, they were more acceptable to letting, those kids, us hang out together and do stuff together, go to church together, or go to 7-Eleven together. But we got to do things together like that. We got to hang out at the parks and things. Those that have that dual parent household, they suffered in such a way where you could see that they didn't have, the financial backing. You could see where their mothers, treated them, like they would cuss them out on the street in front of their friends, and they would be disrespectful to the other parents and things like that were on the block. You could just see it, and it was so sad to see because they were so different from the norm that they stuck out like sore thumbs. And it was so tragic that, and it was like, I'm so thankful that I was exposed to men and having men around that did stuff, that showed me stuff, that, were willing to teach me and take me places. And they just exposed me to stuff that men do, to where I was able to see that, even with my father being in the picture, but not being in the home. When he wasn't working, he would still do things with me. And it was like, I would take those things back to my friends. I'd be, hey man, I learned how to change a tire today. What you do is you get the jack out and you find the little hole under the bumper and you get the bumper and you check. I was able to do those type of things so that when we were together as boys and hanging out and stuff, we would build basketball rims and we had some fucking ingenuity about ourselves. But that was because just the parental influence and that mentorship that we were exposed that did that, and those that didn't, they gravitated. So it was definitely a big difference and a huge, impact as to how we were able to have that exposure and how much it made us better. And we craved it more, so that when we got older, like myself, I wanted that whole family thing. I wanted the complete family. So I didn't have children at a young age. I was a little bit more careful than most, not 100%, but I was a little bit more careful with who I slept with because of that. I still had my slip-ups and I shook my dice quite a few times in my life. I've been on the knees praying, hoping that I could come, but I didn't want pregnant, but it just wasn't a lot of those instances that I was in that situation because I really cared about it, because I saw the benefits of doing it the right way.
Guys, the number is 213-943-3362. You guys can call in right now to talk. I want to hear some of your stories, and some of you guys' stories might be like ours, and some of you might just shut up, bitch. Some of you get he's loud. I can't even sneak in this bitch. It's just telling all my business. Stop telling my business anyway. We are live, and the fuck is that?
Just telling all my business.
Oh, that ain't right.
Is that another window?
We are live.
Sounds like shit. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see if it still sounds like shit.
That ain't right. Is that another window?
Hold on.
We are live.
Sounds like shit.
Do it still sound like shit?
Hold on. Let's see if it still sounds like shit.
Why the fuck is it behind so far?
Is that another window?
Hold on.
We are live. Sound like shit.
Do it still sound like shit? While we figuring that out, please make sure you donate to the PayPal. Let's go to the live chat. We appreciate your donations, but make sure that you send them to the PayPal, the Thomas PayPal, please.
Yes.
YouTube is making enough money off of high asses. Them bastards.
Yes, sir.
It ain't enough. It's just disgusting how much money they making off us content creators. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. It is. It's like one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard of. Like, it's a few disgusting things in life. That's probably the most disgusting. Anyway. Okay, that sounds better. I don't know if it sounds good, but it sounds better. Guys, What? They said Kanika Jenkins. Nah, I don't believe this. Somebody just sent me something talking about Kanika Jenkins had 3 types of sperm in her.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that they released that. I don't know if that. I just don't know what to say to that. Let me get to this story though. Look, we know that a lot of you have been through some things, and people have asked the question. Or last night, many people said that they wanted to call in and speak on this subject. So for those who want to speak in on the subject, call in. The number is 213-943-3362. We're about to go and start answering phone calls right now. 828 caller. Can you hear me?
Hey, Tommy.
Hey.
Hey, I got you on speakerphone. Hold on. Let me turn that off so we can talk for real.
All right, cool. Hey, and everybody that's donating, I guess they didn't hear it. Try to avoid the super chat and go.
You there?
Yes, sir. Talk to us.
Hey, how you doing? I got something to say about your topic tonight about growing up in a single-parent home.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, but before I say that, I got to say thank you so much for being who you are, and your co-host Brian there is a smart motherfucker.
Yep.
I don't know how in hell y'all met, but that was the best thing that's ever happened. This summer has been a very different experience for me because of watching your show.
Wow, that is awesome, man.
Wow.
Thank you.
Can I say something else? I mean this is an observation, not a criticism.
Go ahead.
Okay, Brian, you got a compressor on your microphone, like an audio compressor?
An audio compressor? I don't.
Yeah, he's
going
to bring up because your mic
dynamic
sometimes.
compressor.
Yeah. Your mic was still doing
Yeah,
that. Like it never did it before, but like this is the second show in a row it's doing that. I don't know what that is, and he was trying to ask, do you have a compressor that's doing it?
Last time I thought it was his internet connection. I don't think it's his internet connection.
Nope.
It's like the louder he talks, the quieter he gets.
Yep. Like you'll start off fine, and then it'll start muting.
I'm just saying that. Right, and
Okay,
it's like he starts talking some real shit, and it's like putting emphasis on it. He's talking a little louder, and then he cuts out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ship him
Is
a
it
mic.
still doing it now? Does it still do that?
We won't know until you say longer sentences.
Until I start. Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, but I'm gonna. By next show, we'll have this fixed. If I have to send you another mic and whatnot, because I'll have to find out what you're running into the computer and stuff like that, and then be able to give you something to mimic. But go ahead, brother. Thank you for those two things so far.
Okay, you're all talking from a. I don't know anything about Brian, but you said you grew up in a single mother home.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I grew up in a single father home. It's a very different dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And what you just said just a minute ago, thank you for having me call in because I was just talking about what you were just saying. When you said a single parent is a dictator,
Mm-hmm.
that is the truth. Because, like I said, I had a single father, and it's very different. And talking about issues growing up and shit, like you got to have balance. If you're a parent, you need balance. You need somebody to keep you in check.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be acting out. You're going to be, you come home from work, take your day out on your kid. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. You need somebody there to say, hey, that's a child. Who are you trying to talk to?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to me like that. Don't talk to that kid that way. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's
So I'm just saying, I was just bringing that up.
Well, no, yeah. The reason I brought it up as a dictatorship because, like you said, I don't think anybody should be able to raise a kid by itself because I know particularly how difficult it is, and sometimes you need a fucking break from that kid.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take it in shifts. You know?
Yep.
It's your turn. I've had enough. I'm going to talk to somebody else, you know?
Right. I'm about to choke the shit out this motherfucker. I'm gonna need you to get him right now. I'm going in the jacuzzi. Like I'm sure Brian, that happens with you and your wife. Like she's like, this is a jacuzzi night tonight, bro. That's all you. And now you scrambling to find something to do with him.
I was so proud of my wife. She
you
actually
watch Lion, it's your turn
talked
to watch
about that.
Lion King for the 10th time.
Well, hold on a second, brother. Your mic is low now. What? I don't know what happened to your mic. It went low. What happened? You, not
Me or Brian?
yes, you.
Me?
Yes, your mic is low.
Is it really?
Yep. I have to turn you up, which then in turn makes him too loud. I can't separate it. I don't have it. You guys separate it. It's weird. I can turn him down. I can figure it out. I can turn him down and have you up. I just hate doing that. But go ahead, speak.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, I totally hear what you're saying. And about a year ago, you and I had a really great conversation about the toy, that movie with Richard Pryor.
Yes.
Okay, talking about being a single dad, and that motherfucker needed some help.
Mm-hmm. He needed some help. He had to hire Richard Pryor, and then come to find out Richard Pryor understood his child more than him because Richard didn't have the same responsibilities as the man. The man thought that his job was just to make sure his kid had expensive stuff and blah, blah, blah. And the kid had to finally tell him, it ain't about all that shit. I actually want you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck writing checks. Give me a hug, motherfucker.
Yep.
What did you say?
What? Was you laughing at me?
Yeah, what did you just say? Say that again.
I can barely hear you.
Okay, say it again. No, don't you mess with it. Don't you touch it. I'm trying to adjust because I have to turn him up.
Okay. I said, say what you said again. I didn't hear what did you say about the fucker.
I said, fuck writing checks and give me a hug, man.
No, get the motherfucker on it. Fuck writing the checks. Give me a hug, motherfucker. That's real. That's real shit. I like that.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
But I was just saying too that my
Brian,
last weekend we were at a couples retreat that I've been doing for the past few years and had the opportunity to speak at. And my wife, she took a moment and she spoke about that when she was at home and I was at home. We were together and she was trying to get our daughter together. I think she was either getting her ready for school or getting us ready to go somewhere. But she was getting frustrated with, my daughter not, basically responding to what she was telling her to do. She's 4 years old, right? But I was downstairs and I could hear my wife getting frustrated and I began to hear her to yell. And I immediately jumped in. I went upstairs and I said, hey, I said, let's calm down. I said, I first corrected my daughter because she wasn't doing what she was being told. And I said, you know what? I said, you were getting upset and you were hollering at her and, you hurt her feelings because my daughter is very sensitive. The minute you raise your voice or she sees that she's not doing something that makes you happy, she begins to feel bad and she'll cry. So I said, you correct her, you have to build her right back up if you do that. So it was like I heard it and I was able to step in. Had I not been here, she just would have gotten on her ass and wouldn't have realized that she was just a little frustrated and whether she was tired or upset or whatever the case may be, to where that's why she did what she did. And that's the beauty of having two parents, because I could turn around next week and be doing the same exact thing to where I'm frustrated with her and she can step in and say, honey, I got it. You know what I'm saying? You go ahead and take 5, go eat, go do whatever, go sit down somewhere and I'll be in there to take care of you in a minute, put some of this good loving on you, and I go, right, I'll play that guitar. Yeah, so it's like to be able to do that and for her to see that too, that goes with the teamwork thing, because we both can complement each other, and when we're taking care of each other, we can hear that just by the inflection of a voice, or you can just hear the conversation, how it's going, and to step in and what to do when that happens.
So let me ask you, what were some of the things that you experienced in a way with a single father that you believe you may have not experienced if you had not the dictatorship in the house?
I would have been treated a lot more gently because I was raised with some very strict standards and some very harsh expectations. And, you know, listen, tell me the truth. Tell me what you think. Motherfuckers think it's a parent's job to raise children. They don't even stop to think it's a child's job to raise parents. You got to grow up first.
Say it again. I want to make sure I get this right before I respond. I almost did, but I said, let me make sure I understand. Say it one more time.
It's a child's job. People think it's a parent's job to raise children. It's also a child's job to raise parents. You have to grow up first. Okay? You got to look at yourself before you look at them and criticize
who
them
has to
the
grow
way
up
they're
first?
acting. How are you acting?
He said,
You know?
he said, you know, as a child, it's your job to help raise your parents. He said, well, you got to, because he said you got to grow. You have to grow up first before you can do something or say something about what your parents are doing. Well, yes, I will say this. A lot of times, kids.
Well, you got it backwards.
I thought you
What
said
I was
both of
saying.
them. Go ahead and say it again.
No, the parents have to grow up first. You've got to become an adult before you set an example for a child.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All
And
right.
that kid is that's the fucking millstone around your neck. You're the albatross around your neck. Okay? Rhyming the Ancient Mariner, Love, Iron Maiden, whoop, whoop. Anyway, fucking, I'm just saying, you look at them, that's your accusation. That is your fucking plaintiff in court. You fucked up, and you brought this child into the world, and now you're going, and taking it out on them?
Well,
Don't do that, man.
It's a strange dynamic because what happens is most of the time kids know something, like we know right from wrong inherently, and I think bad parenting strips that away from you. Good parenting accentuates it. But I think it's in us innate.
Right?
It just goes like this. Because I've seen some of the most evil people do some of the most benevolent things. And you think to yourself, well, how would they do that? You know what I mean? Like, have you seen somebody, you know, that person's evil, but they won't do that? Like, I watched the episode of Friday 13th, Jason Lives. And in Jason Lives, Jason was killing everybody. But when he walked in and he saw those children, we didn't do anything to them. Now, in his mind, if you want to play it out, they probably felt like if you kill a kid, it will fuck up the scary movie and nobody would watch it. But let's just look at it as the killer who died when he was young, and that set the whole Friday 13th thing off anyway, that you let my child drown. So that's the whole purpose of how Jason even came into, or Friday 13 came into existence, because the mother was killing the camp counselors because they let her son drown, and now the son is killing the people because somehow he saw the mom get killed, so he came back alive and became a killer. But maybe in his mind he was saying, yes, I kill people in the most disgusting ways, but these children are innocent. And I know people like that who say, I know drug dealers who say, I will not sell to a child.
Right.
And I think
see, like, okay, so even a fucking serial killer, supernatural, back from the dead motherfucker like Jason looked at children and he saw himself.
Yep.
Okay? I can kill everybody else in the world, but I'll never kill myself.
And I think that's one of the biggest things, because you said you believe your dad was too harsh, but do you believe what he taught you as an adult, once you got to be an adult? Do you think it was right from wrong? Because that's why I thought you were saying that maybe the kids need to grow up too, because sometimes as a kid you think that everything your parent did was wrong, and then you grow up and realize some of that shit saved your life. Some of that shit was actually good.
No shit. You're preaching. You're preaching to the choir, dude. I'm telling you. You asked me the question. Is yes, my dad was too harsh on me when I was a child. Okay? But when I grew up, I realized he saved me from so much shit. Yes, I took some ass whooping. Okay? I've never been in. The last time I was in a fight, I was in fucking 6th grade. I know what it feels like. Okay, I don't fuck around. I don't start shit. I leave motherfuckers alone. Respect me, respect you. You know, peace, man. Okay, because I know what it feels like to have some motherfucker hold you down and beat the ever-loving shit out of you. Okay, and that is a life lesson. I mean, he beat me till I pissed my fucking pants, and I still am grateful for that.
That's crazy. And that we.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit about my dad.
No.
Dad
What I'm saying is crazy is
meet
that.
My dad.
What I'm saying is crazy is that I found that, and maybe Brian can chime in on this because he had his dad in his life. I watched the people with fathers oftentimes see the people with not fathers getting so much more leeway that they started to think, man, I kind of wish he wasn't here. He's such a totalitarian, and he's telling me to do this, and he's telling me to do this, and my friends on Saturday, they get to go out and they play all day, but me, I got to do chores and stuff, and they start to feel like, well, no, this ain't cool. So that first train of thought is he's too harsh, and then they grow up and realize what you just said, which is half the people you know who didn't have fathers, they dead or in jail.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That motherfucker was like, what do you call it, a combat veteran, brothers in arms motherfucker. Fucking threw himself on the grenade to save my ass from the world. You understand? You ever had a beat down from a cop? You ever been locked up in handcuffs in the back of a police car over shit you didn't do? Okay? It's no joke.
Yeah.
Take it
Well,
when you're a kid.
I think
you don't have to take it when you're a man, because a man's too old.
I think that there is a responsibility piece to say, well, what my father did for me and the things that he showed me were impactful. They were life-changing. They helped me to become who I am today. That's invaluable. I also think that there is a counterpart to that as a mother and what she brings to the table and what she teaches you about being, able to relate to women, how to treat women, and you see the dynamic between the mother and the father, see the roles and the positions that everybody plays. But I think that you have to be able to say that if you don't have two like-minded people, then it goes left, or there's a deficiency. There's a lack of parenting to where this one looks better than the other one because this one has a different mindset. This one does more. This one handles things better. I think we have to pick better mates. We have to pick people to procreate with that are like-minded so that we can raise a better child as opposed to a deficient parent or an absent parent that's still a deficiency that's there.
Yeah, because there are cases in which, and I've seen this too, they have both parents there. But one parent is, as you said, absent. Like they're not involved in that, which still puts more strain. As a matter of fact, I think it's worse to have a neglectful parent than an absentee parent. Because when you have a neglectful parent, it's there. Like the mom, say the dad's neglectful, the mom is there. The mom knows. It's like pulling a fucking piano upstairs and knowing you have somebody in the house with you, but they won't help you. I think that makes it worse because I could use this help. They're right there, but they won't help me. That's what having a parent that's neglectful is like. They're right there and they won't do the job. At least if they weren't there, I know to just say, fuck it, I got to do it myself. And I don't depend on what's not there. Do y'all feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
Dude, what you just said right now is so powerful.
Thank you. Because many times people think that because they had both of their parents, nothing should have been wrong. And I'm like, actually, that's not good. You can have two fucked up parents. I know.
Parents, yes.
You got both of them. They just Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston.
Hey, real talk. Look at that. See what she turned out. Two motherfuckers with resources and finances, and look at how it ended. Shit, man.
Hey, Tommy, can I ask you about that? You just brought up something really cool.
Go ahead.
You're talking about, okay, let me flip it here. Okay, you talk about an absentee parent versus a neglectful parent.
Mm-hmm.
They're there, they won't help you, versus if they were there, they'd do the world for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so flip it. What about the blame game? What about the shit? If you grow up in a single-parent home, you hear your single parent talking shit about your other parent. And in my case, that's my mom.
Your mom used to get shit talked about her, or used to talk shit about your dad?
No, my mom never said a word. My mom was a saint. She never said a word about anybody. Anyway, I'm just saying, when you grow up hearing one parent talking shit about the other parent.
So that's what I was trying to figure out. Which one? Was it
not
your dad talking about your mom?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And like, you know, petty shit, stupid shit. She was a good woman. One of the best women of all time. Okay? And I'm proud to be her son. Okay? And to hear some motherfucking talking shit about your mom like that, and they think they can get away with it because they're bigger than you for a minute, give me another couple of years and keep running your mouth like that.
Why do you think he spoke about your mom that way? And then I'll ask you this before I let you go. One, why do you think he spoke about your mom that way? Two, why was he the one raising you and not your mom?
Because he had the money, and because he's a low-class, trash-talking white boy who's jealous of my mom who came from a better upbringing.
But if she came from a better upbringing, how did he ended up getting custody of you and not? Because, like, it's too easy for us to talk crap about our fathers. This is like you're illustrating that. Like, we can say the harshest stuff about our fathers, but if you were saying that about your mother and your mother had raised you like your father did, people would be going off on you right now. People would be saying, but your mother was there and she did so-and-so. And
oh, no, my dad, I mean, he took care. I mean, I don't want to talk shit about my dad, and please, anybody, fuck you in the chat room for talking about my dad. Fuck you. My dad was a saint. My mom was a saint.
Well, they talking about your dad because you was talking about your dad.
I
can't call my mama a bitch, and then they be like, yeah, that's some bitch shit. We'll be talking about my mama.
My mama.
I ain't talking shit about nobody. I'm just telling the truth, dude. There ain't no bitches. There ain't no assholes. There ain't no fucking abusive parents. Okay? I was brought up military style. Okay?
Let me say this. Let me say
Things are done
this.
a certain way. And we expect this of you because you're going to grow up to be a man.
Well, here, let me say this. I think that we as adults.
Up to us.
Hey, can you hear Brian, man?
Barely.
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead, Brian.
Can you hear me? All right. So let me say this.
Yeah,
I think that we have a problem with criticizing our parents. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's actually a good thing when you can look back at how you were raised and you can actually see the error of both your parents. Because at the end of the day, whatever your dad was and whatever your mom was, they both at some point picked each other to bring you into the world and to raise you. So if your mom is a saint and she may not have made the best choice as a father, or if your father was a god and God didn't make the best choice in picking a mom for you, then I think it's something that you can just say, well, it is what it is, but what the body of work that they do in raising you, I think that's what matters. And that's not going to be perfect. Parents are going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes as a parent. I just hope that my child will be able to look back over her life when she gets grown and see the error in me and my wife's ways and be able to not do that, but to take the good that we did and to perpetuate that. It's okay to criticize your mama, and it's okay to criticize your father for what they did or didn't do. As long as you turn around and you're able to acknowledge that and see where they made that mistake and you fix it, then it's a win. Because in the same token, you should be able to look at the good things that they did and acknowledge them for it. So yeah, my dad wasn't with me. He didn't live in the house with me. He left when I was 3 years old. And I faulted him for that because of the shit he did, and he fucked up. But I still can acknowledge the fact that my dad didn't even have a daddy. And then the stepdaddy he had was abusive as fuck to my grandmother, and my grandmother was as abusive as fuck to him. They fought, they got it in. So that's one of the things that he didn't do though. So I attribute my dad to being a better dad than what he had. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a better dad than what my dad was. So I'm not going to beat my wife. I'm only going to choke the shit out of her. You see that? So that's what I think is the most important thing to do. I'm going to say, get your ass. I'm not telling you, you know I would hit you, but my granddaddy did that shit, so I ain't. So I think that's what's important. Just as long as there's a progression to where we are getting better as parents is what I think matters the most. Because when we have that dysfunction and we couple that with some worse dysfunction, did I use the right word? Is that worse? Yeah. Then I think that's where the problem is. And I think that's where we get to where we get to now, to where we have so many dysfunctional homes and we have so many dysfunctional parents to where it's become the norm.
Exactly. Hey, brother, thank you so much for the phone call. I'm gonna see if I can get to some of these other people. I have done this what I plan.
All right, man. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I plan on.
Thank you, brother.
After this, I'm gonna go grab me something to eat. Then I'm going to come back a little bit later tonight. So I'm going to try to get all of you guys in here. And if you're on the line, make sure you press 1. The number is 213-943-3362. You press 1 to let us know that you want to speak. It's good that you were able to find that. It's the same thing happened to me. I'll ask you this before we go. Why do you think no one gives any, what will be the word? No one tries to be sympathetic to the plight of a man. Like I had to sit there and say, well, what the fuck was my dad going through? When I'm a man. So it's weird that we as boys be like, my daddy wasn't shit because he made one mistake. Then we go out there and make 18 mistakes to the girls we dating. So maybe we should start saying, hold on, maybe my dad had to deal with, I know how it is to deal with these bitches. My dad had to learn how to deal with these bitches too. Like seriously, we don't give a man the benefit of doubt, and we're going to grow up to be men. And once we become men, we know we be dogging hoes out, coming in 4 chicks' face that week, and then turn around and say, my daddy wasn't shit. Well, you ain't shit then. Like, we never relate. Why do you think that is? And when did you get to the point where you said, wait a minute, I got to relate to what this man went through?
I think we don't do it because we aren't wired that way. We're wired to just, like we talked about earlier, just like sucking shit up and moving on, as opposed to, and when we do that, I think we take those same seeds that were dysfunctional and we just replant them in our lives and we let that shit grow up around us. Just like how we have adopted the mentality of just being, players and playboys, not just fucking a bunch of women, but I want to fuck your woman and your woman. I'm fucking everybody's woman. That's what I aspire to be. As opposed to saying, well, I'm going to build my own. I'm going to have my own wife. I'm going to have my own family. And I'm going to, raise my children to be, better than, I'm going to build an empire. I want to keep growing the empire. We're not wired to do that. And it was like, I didn't even begin to want to understand my dad and what he went through until I was at a point to where I was able to challenge him on what my life turned out to be and the part he played in that. And my dad, in all of his, I guess, dysfunction that he was able to understand, he was transparent enough with me to tell me exactly what he was going through, to tell me exactly why he did some of the shit he did. And he acknowledged the fact that, you know what, son, I know that you would have had a better life had me and your mother stayed together.
Nice.
I wish that I didn't do the thing that I did. However, I'm telling you the truth as a young man because I don't want you to do the same shit. And the fact that he got to that point or how he got to that point, I have no clue. But when I was able to ask him about it, and I believe that all children go through that, go through a preschool, when we become a young adult and we get grown, we ask our parents about the things that they did and why certain things happen in our lives. And I think that as a parent, you have to be responsible to acknowledge that shit that you did or didn't do, or the things that you failed at, not just for your sake, but for the sake of your children. Because at the end of the day, I don't want my child to grow up and to make the same mistakes I don't want her to marry someone who make the same mistakes that I made. I want her to marry somebody that's better than me. Because that's going to be an attribute to me as a parent, to where I put that in her to want to do better than what her parents are.
Makes sense. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's see if we can go to a phone here. 919, caller, you're on the air.
Hey y'all, how are y'all?
Doing well. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good. Okay, I just wanted to touch on what I was telling you. I wanted to touch on what what you were just saying about Brian had said something about we're criticizing our parents. But I don't think we're doing that. I think we criticize our fathers. We don't criticize our mothers at all. We never point out what she did wrong. And then when we do, we are wrong. And that's a really big problem. I want to say, I was raised by a single father. And it's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me, being raised by him. And my birth mother left me on the doorstep when I was 5 months old. I don't know what she looks like. At this point, I could honestly care less. But when she left me with an unknown person. The person took me to a hospital. I got identified. My dad came, picked me up. I was raised by a broken man. Hear me out. I was raised by a man who was raised in a single-parent household with his mom, no father figure in sight. He had no idea what it was like to be a man or what a man was. He raised me and broke that cycle.
Nice.
That's what my dad did for me.
What happened? Why was he? What happened to your mom?
Well, they were married. They actually just got divorced in 2012. She got up one day and said, I guess she decided, you know what, this little nigga's crying too much. I don't have time for this shit. I'm just going to put her somewhere. That's literally what happened. She just dropped me off and said, suck it, I'm out. I have never heard. She changed her name. I know that because we had to find her in order for them to get a divorce so he could remarry. And she changed her name multiple times. What's on my birth certificate is no longer her name. I know she had other kids after me, but I still to this day do not know what she looks like. Even my father, he has no pictures. Wow. I have nothing. I just have my dad. That's all I have.
Can you answer the question I asked earlier? Why is it that when women abandon their children, do things like this, nobody calls them out and call them deadbeat moms or anything? It's just, you know, whatever mom was struggling with.
I was just about to touch on that.
Go ahead.
I was just about to, okay, in college, to have a hip-hop class, dude wrote a song, because it was a project. Dude wrote a song, and it was about how black women are queens. The lyrics were fine, you know, and everything, but we were supposed to discuss about it. And I said, why do we throw these words around? You know, queen, and you know, why do we throw these words around? Because they're very powerful words if we want to put it in definition.
Yep.
The actual definition. It's a very powerful word. So why do we call them queens? So I told my story. I'm not afraid to tell my story. I've been telling it for a very long time. So I said, hear me out. My birth mother left me on the doorstep when I was 5 months old. I have not seen her since. Answer me, is she a queen? You know, he looked at me and he said, yes, because she carried you. I said, wow.
They've been brainwashed.
Wow.
They really. I had people when I was telling my story. They said, "If it wasn't for your mama, you wouldn't be here." I was like, "God, dog, are
I
they
hate that.
really
I hate
doing
that.
that?"
If it wasn't for your mama, I hate it. If it wasn't for your mama, I hate because you know what? If it wasn't for my daddy nuts, I wouldn't be here.
Thank you. I had the nut in this bitch.
Men create
Right.
life.
And
Thank
it's
you.
frustrating because they tell me, they say, well, maybe your mom was going through some things that you will never understand.
Now
My
you're
dad
going back to what I was
was
saying. They give
18.
excuses to women. Can you tell me why is it that the woman gets a ready-made excuse when a woman kills her kid? You saw that video I did where they sat there and said, "I know for a fact she didn't want a kid." What? How you know for a fact? This makes no sense. The woman admitted to beating the motherfucker with a cord and choking him as punishment.
Yep.
As much as I hate to say this as a woman myself, the reason that we get so many excuses is because we have pussy.
Yeah, but
I'm
this
just
is a
a
young
woman.
man saying this about your mom who's out of his range. I mean, he's not trying to fuck your mom. So are you saying that he's giving your mom a pass hoping he can get some pussy his age?
No, I'm saying he gives them a pass because the other ones in the room are like, yes, king, yes. Yes, you say that. We are queens. Yes.
That's true.
Yes, queen. Yes, king. Yes.
That's true.
That's why.
God, dog. They just.
No, he's not
I
trying
guess
to
my
fuck my
thing
mom, but
is-
he's trying to fuck them other insecure bitches in there.
So here's my question.
You know, I had a
As
conversation about it with a girl and asked her why she wore a weave, and she told me because I am a Nubian queen. I said, oh my God. Oh my God.
so let me ask this.
Like,
As a woman, when you hear other women speak like this, when you hear women make excuses for the things that they've done or the things that they're doing in their lives, do you feel like you're obligated to step up and to challenge that? Because what I see with a lot of women, and I've said this before, is that there has to come to where women are willing to challenge the shit that they see their girlfriends doing, their cousins doing, because I think that's where it starts, to where we'll see a woman will see some shit that's going on and see that she's doing something wrong or she's bogus or she's living reckless, and at best what that woman will say is, well, that's her and her life and she doing what she think is best, I guess. You know, that's her. That ain't me. I get it. I understand. That's some fuck shit, but that's her.
let me
As
say
opposed
something.
to
I
saying,
challenge
you know
what
what
I say.
you're doing is wrong and that you need to, change what you're doing because it's just not the way to go, and be willing to sacrifice the friendship and connection with that person for the sake of what's right.
Well, if the friendship is real, when you do challenge that person, they won't leave. Because
Very true.
when you really care about someone, you tell them, look, you fucking up. You need to get yourself together. If my friends can't tell me that, look, for example, if all days out of the week my friends notice, Alyssa has not been to class. Look, what is she doing? If they don't text me, like, what are you doing? Because you know you can't miss but 15% out of this class where they drop you, baby. What you doing? If they can't do that to me, then are they my friend? If I can't do the same to them, am I their friend? We have to do better. We have to step up and say, look, what you're saying is wrong. Sit down and analyze what you're saying. Think about what you're saying before you say it. Look it up. Look up stats. Look up all of this stuff before you speak. I have to question myself sometimes. I'm willing to get criticized. I had to learn to. And guess who taught me that? My dad did. He said, you're not always going to be right, baby. Not always. That's not how life works.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
It's just not.
Well, then answer me this question: without your mom, with just your dad, do you think what were some things that you feel like you missed out on?
Yeah, I missed this sounds really bad, but I miss the nurturing part. I miss the when my dad taught me how to ride a bike, I fell a million times, and I was looking for him to say, "Oh, come here,
Man up,
we can
bitch.
just try again tomorrow."
Man
No,
up.
he was like, "Get the fuck back on the bike. Get the fuck back on the bike. Get up. I paid for this goddamn bike. Get on the bike."
Man up. Man up. Hey, look, I didn't play that shit. My daughter could have cried all she damn want to. You riding this motherfucking bike. You said you wanted. You about to ride this damn bike.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get the, and I seen it, and I seen that other kids and with their mom would come out and they'll like they literally fall once, scrape their knee, and she'll be like, oh my God, come here, I have Neosporin and I have a Band-Aid already in my purse. I fell. My dad was like, brush it off. Okay.
God damn.
So, because we're trying to talk about when you saw the show, and I'll give you this last question before we leave to another phone call. What did you think about last night's show, and how would any of the things that you hear are there apply to you? Hello. Well,
Hello?
I'm going to assume she's gone.
Guess she might have dropped on.
No,
She said, fuck it, I'm out.
Hold on, wait. Let's see. Are you there? Oh shit. She is there. My shit done dropped. Hold on a minute, bitch. That's my bad. Wait a minute, dear. How the fuck that happened? You just cut me off, huh? Just in the middle of just talking. You just want to tell me you don't need to be talking to you motherfuckers. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
You are now in the host queue.
I wasn't in the host queue, so it didn't cut my bitch ass off.
And y'all stop going in on my mic. I'm having technical difficulties. Have some compassion on this bastard. You bastards.
Okay, go ahead, dear. Say it again.
Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, I didn't miss necessarily having a mom because I didn't really know what it was like to have a mom, so I couldn't miss it. Growing up, I was, of course, I'm looking at other kids, they got their mom and all this, and I'm like, oh my God, I wonder what that's like. But I wasn't secure enough with myself to say, okay, there's no way I can miss this woman and I don't know her. Maybe the idea, sure. The idea of having a mom, sure. But missing her is not, it's something I can't do because I don't know her.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I didn't get, I wouldn't know.
Well, that's like me in my song.
All
I said,
got was from him.
I said in one of my songs, I said the word dad was nothing more than a myth. Each Christmas, no gifts that created the rift. Like then after that, I said, what did I said something about dad. I said, but then I thought about it. You can't miss what you never had. I guess it was me
absolutely.
I guess it was me though trying to justify the pain that I was going through, because you can miss what you never had when you see other people with it.
Yeah, absolutely. When I would see it, when I was small and I would see it, I would go, I wonder what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that is like. And then I literally had to get myself to a point where I was saying, you know what? As much as I would have loved to have that, for some reason I didn't. And there's a reason for it all. I didn't, but I got something better. I got someone who was brought up broken, and he fixed me. There's no better gift than that. Because he could have continued
The cycle
that he grew up from.
And I think that's the key to all of this. Alyssa, thank you so much. I'm gonna go to another phone call and jump over there to my man Brian and ask him. I think the key to all of this is, that's why I said we talk about it, but we're not gonna say that this is the reason why we're doing what we're doing. It's like that Poppy guy. I'm not gonna give him. He can talk about he was molested, but I'm not gonna give you no damn pass for you now saying you going around trying to kill people. I think what we need to do is, yes, we acknowledge it, but why not also say, I can't change it. Like me, I can't go back to 14 or 4 or 19. I can't go back to these places. So when I bring them up, I'm not bringing them up to try and even fuck that divorce. My mom don't even give a shit. I bring it up because there's somebody else who may have a kid who can at least hear the messages or hear what I'm saying and watch me and that grown ass woman cry. See both of these people crying and think, well, do I want to put my kids through this? Do I want my kids to talk about me like this? That's one of my biggest fear. If I don't give a shit about you, you can say whatever you want to say about me. But if I care, then why would I want you to talk negatively about me? So then that's the thin line between the parent and the kid. Just because a parent keeps you doesn't mean they care about you. And we need to start bringing this out, because you can't keep having generation after generation after generation of people getting beat by their mothers and saying, thank you, sir, may I have another? And that's what we're doing. We're saying, yeah, mom did it, but man, she had us. She could have dropped us off. So we're saying women are so stupid that dropping kids off is just an option for them. But a dude not paying child support is not an option, sir. And like she said her mom not only left them, went off and changed her name and had more kids. Ain't nobody fucking with her and telling her she a deadbeat.
Right. That's my thing. So it's like in a situation where she wasn't dropped off or with her father, let's say for instance she was with her mother's sister or grandmother or distant aunt or something like that, that narrative about who she was and the type of woman she was, it would have been totally different. It would have been, well, your mother was having some trouble and she was a great woman, but she just made she was young, didn't know any better, and that's why she left you with us, and we did the best we could. We make those decisions for that person just for the simple fact that the relation that we have with them, as opposed to giving our children the truth, giving that child the truth, and to say, you know what, some people are selfish, some people are assholes, some people are just not good people for whatever reasons. But we have to be able to put ourselves in a mindset to say, I see what it is that you are, and I see who you are. Now I need to make sure that I don't do what it is that you did. I need to be better. We don't challenge each other to be better than what we are and what has been before us. That's our problem. That's where I think that we're really missing that part, because out of all of the fuck shit that can happen to you in your life from the time you are conceived until you are an adult, yes, it can be bad. Yes, it can be terrible and tragic. However, we take on the responsibility of procreating. Now you should be in a place to where you can say, regardless of what me in my life, I'm gonna make sure I don't pass it on to my children. I'm only gonna give the good things to my child so that they can have a better life than me. We don't do that because we're selfish.
Yep.
And most of the time we'll have a child for the sheer notion of just saying, I want somebody that's gonna love me unconditionally, where you just really want somebody who's gonna depend on you and are willing to submit to you because they're in a position to where they have no other options. So that's why you're having that child, because you want somebody to be totally dependent upon you no matter what you do and no matter how fucked up you are. They are dependent upon you. And the only person that can do that is a child. And that's why you have it, trying to fill a void that you have for whatever it is that you've gone through in your life you haven't dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And you, this child, be that fill-in, that filler for whatever void you have in your life, until you get to the point to where you get tired, you get stressed, and now that child becomes your whipping boy. It becomes where your energy and your anger is released into this child. So now you pass on the fuck shit that you've experienced, plus whatever else is on top of that, onto this child. And that's how the cycle flows, because you are challenged as a parent every day. When you have a father in a home and there's a father and a mother, then now you have somebody who same power level that can actually do what you do. But when you fucked up in the head and it's on you, naturally you pass on that same fucked upness to your child.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. And I think that that's where we have to get to the point to where we stop doing that to say that's how we change the wrong things that are going on in our culture and in our community.
All right, cool. Let's see if we can go to another phone call. 618 caller, you are on the air. Talk to us.
Oh, Dan.
What?
I think I got you on speaker. Sorry. Hey, Tommy, it's Rose.
Hey, Rose.
Young.
Talk to us. You're on the line with myself
Hey.
and Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, what's happening?
You've heard some of my stuff before about my Saint Mom, the martyr person, and the fact that she drilled it into our heads. My dad was such a horrible man that we really didn't get to know him before he died. We were still hating on him when he died. And now my brother and I are taking care of her in her old age, and we're seeing all the things that she did and the way she kind of sainted herself. And she doesn't remember that our house was full of cockroaches and that we'd wake up in the middle of the night with them crawling on us because she didn't clean the house. She doesn't remember that she had my older brothers and sisters doing the cooking, the cleaning, the watching the younger brothers and sisters when she was a stay-at-home mom. And so, yeah.
Let me ask you, Rose.
Are so right.
Well, let me ask you then, Rose.
Sorry?
I want to know, why do women get these passes? Because I tell the story of when I grew up, where we had to put cotton in our nose and ears to stop them. We had them little small roaches to stop them from crawling in there. Myself and my older brother slept on a couch together. We had to sleep foot to head on a couch. There's 13 people in a 3-bedroom, but the women get praised for this. I don't understand. Maybe you as a woman can explain how, like you said, your mom still got sainthood and never pointed out, look at the conditions you kids were raised in.
I think that previous caller was onto something with the pussy thing. I think that, they get the idea because men are putting them on the pedestal to get the pussy, that after the fact, oh, well, I'm on this pedestal and I want to stay here. Mm-hmm. I guess who would want to be knocked down once they're up there. But, I can't believe nobody, and then nobody interferes when they're trying to take them down. Like my dad leaving, he went to another continent, but, we didn't find out till later he tried to take us with him. And we just thought, he left us, alone with this crazy woman. In reality, he wanted to take us with him and raise us. And, it would have been a whole different world. I mean, I'm not saying it would have been perfect, and, he had his problems. But at the very least, I'm still pissed off that I didn't get to know him because I was so busy hating on him. I went on national TV and talked horrible shit about him.
No, seriously? Oh, okay, first off, I want you to do me 2 favors. One, tell me what were the shit you said about him, and 2, when did you realize, like how I had to realize, and how Brian had to realize? When did you realize what you thought was not what's true?
Yeah.
Sadly, only in my 40s. I mean, and I'm in my 50s now. And sadly, I was that deep into the brainwashing.
Yep.
I was on a Sally Jesse Raphael show about divorce, children of divorce, and I had said, well, he cheated on my mom, and now I don't trust men, and it's all his fault, and here she was, and they edited it, and it sounded even worse than what I was saying, and what I was saying was bad enough,
Right.
But he played it for me when I had to go see him on one of the, family weekends with him, which only came, a couple times a year, but that was my fault. That was on me. But he played it for me, and I just, I felt bad, but at the time I was still deep in the brainwashing. So, I thought, well, you got some truth, Dad. But it wasn't the truth, and he never really said anything. He didn't really get on me about it. He didn't, he tried to make me feel bad. Just playing it for me was bad enough in the long run. Once I finally saw the truth, and I was seeing the truth because I was having to take care of my mom and my stepdad and their old age, as I'm still doing with my mom, and facing the demons of all of that, and realizing that, wow, she's had a snowed. My brother was worse than me, and he's helping me take care of her now, and he's seeing it. He's seeing how, because she's older, she can't keep up, her fronts and her games that she had used to make us feel bad for her, because it was always, oh, poor me, I don't have a life. And, and really she did, she had the life where she didn't have to take care of any kids. She had kids doing everything for her. We had our house burnt down, and I was a baby, and my sister's the one that got me. My mom didn't even think of me till after the fire was already in full swing, and then she went and tried to go get me. But my sister was that much more of my mother than my mother.
Wow. How did this affect you?
I just wish people didn't have to wait till they're in their 40s
Yes.
or whatever to, I've never had a decent relationship. I've never, I hated men for so long and was so certain they had no feelings that I didn't mind hurting them. I cheated on every guy. Cheated on my husband, caused my divorce. I had a 9-month marriage because I couldn't be faithful, because I didn't think that he cared. He didn't have any feelings. He was a man. And I don't know, I'm sorry I'm talking the whole time.
No. That's deep.
I guess my thing is, what do you think for the generations that come after you, those that are younger than you, what do you want to say to them that would make them to, I guess, not get with their 40 to realize to that teenager that maybe didn't grow up with their dad, or that young person that doesn't have that dad in their life, what would you want to say to them so that they don't follow in the same footsteps that you were in, where they didn't figure it out?
I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting part of what you're saying. What would I say to a teenager growing up without a dad?
You said what?
She couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, what would you want to say to a young person that is, in the same position that you were in, but what would you say to them so that they won't figure it out when they're 40, they can figure it out sooner?
That your parents are human, and that just because they're your parent doesn't make them perfect or godlike, or that they're subjected to the same flaws as anyone else, and that there are two sides to everything. And that men are just as any. I mean, we're all important, both genders, but men have just been put in this place of, either workhorse and, die till you, work till you die and provide for everybody. And, I guess, I don't know, I'm not saying what I want to say, but that's my biggest thing. And I've tried to say that to my nieces and nephews, when we've sat and talked about stuff and talked about their parents, because unfortunately I have a niece and nephew whose dad passed away when they were very young. And my brother was a great man, and it's so sad they don't have him.
Wow.
And I know they suffer having him in their lives.
I feel really bad.
That would be,
I feel really bad for you, because you remind me of me and a lot of other people. Like, I know what you said about the sex thing, but one of the reasons why I ended up being the person who I am, and many of us, like you said, who are like that, I think the reason we fuck around on people is, one, because we're used to sabotaging our relationships. So we're going to do it until we lose out on something. You said it took you 8 months to where he was like, whatever, because it's that. And then at the same time, I think it's because we don't like ourselves. So we punish ourselves by doing stupid shit. You know, as a woman, you're punishing yourself by cheating on your husband, because the guy who knows you're cheating on your husband, how do you think he views you if he know you married? Be honest. The guy you're cheating on your husband with, how do you think he views you?
Yeah, I'm sure he's like definitely disposable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and no good. I mean, if you're gonna do that to them, or you're gonna do that to your husband, what are you gonna do to me?
Yep.
You know.
And then,
but, yeah, I was really crazy.
Yeah, and then your friends, your family. I mean, people look at you funny when they find out you're doing that, especially if your husband was worth a fuck. So why do it? But it's the equivalent of somebody with money stealing. Lindsay Lohan didn't need to steal. She just had something in her that she got a rush from it. You're getting a rush from it. You're getting a rush from sabotaging your relationships. And it's something that we have to stop and say, the only way for me to break this cycle is for me to feel like I'm worth more than being this home wrecking, cheating. I have to feel like I'm more than that, because as long as I don't, I'm going to keep doing those type of things, and that's what we end up doing.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think a big part of what I was doing, or somebody was talking about in the chat about how when girls don't have their dad around, they end up having, these issues with men, and I definitely, was textbook. that it's documented fact that teenage girls are more promiscuous when their father's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely fit into that mold, and I know now that I was constantly needing more affirmation. I was constantly needing to prove I was worthwhile because this guy was going to fuck me. So therefore I must be worth something.
Yep.
And once I had it from one guy, I needed it from another and another and another, because that hole never got filled.
Yep.
Because it wasn't the right thing to go in it.
That's right. You got a whole field, but it was the wrong one.
Yeah. Well, I got the lesson the hard way, because my ex-husband ended up killing himself.
No.
And, his family and everyone blamed
you.
We were still friends. We actually married each other again. Crazy as that is, and we divorced again.
Because of why?
But well, the second time was because he had he was blossoming paranoid schizophrenic, and I had actually been faithful. We'd been together like 3 years, and he was starting to have these delusions. And when I would try to talk him down out of them, he started to get like he was going to get violent with me for pointing the delusions out. So I had to go, but we stayed in contact some. And then when he did it, and I found out he was trying to reach me when he did it, it was hard. It was really, really hard. And his family blamed me for years after, and of course I blamed myself. And I was part of. I didn't make life any easier for him doing that stuff to him. It was, but I was in that time. I was in that mode of he's died. He doesn't have any feelings.
Well, and it's just so sad that
and
you have broken people. Well, we have broken people with.
I'm sorry.
We have broken people who. You looked at him a certain way. He looked at you. He felt a certain way. We don't know how long he had been dealing with those mental issues that went unchecked.
Yeah, that's true, and I know that now. But it was hard. It was really hard, because I know I did hurt him terribly, and it's hard knowing you got a whole lot of people thinking that you basically off their relative and their loved one. He was a very talented musician. He had a lot of people that, he was beloved for that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people that were not happy with Rose for a long time.
Well, I ain't happy with you, Rose. No, I was just
But
kidding. I was gonna say I ain't happy with you either. You ain't shit, but no, I'm not gonna say that to you. I'm gonna wait to say that. But the point behind it is, look, dear, I want to say thank you, Rose, for telling us the story about this. I'm gonna see if I can get to some more people, and I just thank you for being honest about that. Look, it ain't just guys who go around whoring around. Like we get the label of he cheat, but you rarely hear about women being called cheaters. Guys are just bad people and nobody cares what happens to them. Women aren't bad people.
That is definitely the narrative. I think that the thing that we need to start doing as people, because if we try to just, call it out and say, yep, that's the way that it is and that's what's happening, I think that doesn't begin to solve the problem. I think we have to get to the point where we are saying and willing to do things that are going to make a difference and take action. Like when she was talking about her ex-husband having psychological issues, that's one of the things that's just prevalent in the Black community, but we don't go to the doctor. We don't even go get checked up, let alone go see a psychiatrist. And I think that's something that we have to, first of all, stop being ashamed to need to do. But it's okay to go get therapy. It's okay to go talk to somebody.
Your mic just shot down really low. I don't know what happened.
Shot down really low?
Yeah, it's like it's low now. So now it's messing up and it's low.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. That actually sounds really good, too. Hopefully it'll stay that way. But go ahead now. I'll let you finish it off and go to another call.
Yeah, but I would just say that it starts with us saying, hey, we see something and do something about it. Tell that person that that has had a tragic experience in their life to go see a psychiatrist, go get some couch time, because that's how you learn to work through things. We do a great job here, I think, on our platform. You do on your platform. I think we help, but I think that there's a certain level of need to go a psychiatrist weekly basis, case may be times a week, help them really work problems to where that they can actually heal from. It's okay to have scars when they healed the right way.
What did you do different than when we first started doing stuff with your mics? What changed?
I was just
no, I'm saying what changed, like, because you're still doing it's louder, but it still does the whole, you'll say like 3 words and then the 4th word will drop completely off. Then the 5th word will like go up and then it'll be back loud, drop completely off. Like I was just wondering, what did you do different from when we first started doing it, when you were very clear, to now? Have you bought something new, changed something new?
I changed. Only thing I got that's different is this earpiece, and I can switch that back to the old one.
No,
That's the problem. I don't know.
You can try, but I think that's your mic. I think it's literally your mic. But you've always had the same mic, right?
Yeah, this is the mic that I've had from the beginning.
That's weird. Huh. Let me answer more phone calls here. 763, caller, you're on the air.
Tommy, this you?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tommy, this is Big Sean. Sean.
Oh, what's going on? Say hi to say what's up to both people on the panel.
Hey, Brian, what's going on with you, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing, brother?
All right, man. Hey, I think I might have changed your order, and it takes time automotive, man.
Who, Brian or me?
On 150. Can you hear me?
Brian or me?
Huh?
Brian or me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Brian. You live. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. I just kept answering. You were like, what? Well, go. He said he think he changed your oil.
Changed my oil?
Yeah, on 115th and 115th and Cottage Grove in Chicago. That's Brian. Got you, Tommy.
No, what kind of car?
Before I think I might have seen it. Yeah.
What kind of car?
Work at It Takes Time Automotive. It might have been a Buick.
Nope, not me.
Mm-hmm. You know, we dark skinned. We look a lot alike. Go ahead. Everybody look alike.
No,
We
I
dark
was talking
skinned.
about Brian Cody.
No, I'm saying when you
Yeah, I was
dark
talking
skinned
about
folk, we
Brian
look like
Cody.
everybody. They say I was in
no,
my
though, I
boo
wanted
video,
to,
and they keep on saying
talk
it.
about something serious.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, I just want to talk
please.
to you about something serious.
Why am I
I
not
was a
here?
single parent dad, man, and I raised my son. And one of the things and one of the issues I had was raising him. And the way I disciplined him, I only disciplined him when he defied me. I never really disciplined him on a decision. I scolded him, but I never really disciplined him on the decision. And I'm looking at a sophomore in college now, and I'm sitting back thinking, why can't more black women do this?
Well, let me ask you this question: what happened to his mother?
Well, I'll be honest with you. She wasn't no dope fiend or nothing, but she was she did some terrible things. She stole from my grandmother $1,500, and she stole her grandmother at the time was a '96 or '97 Buick Century, and she already had custody of her other son, and I didn't know all of this. It was just I was trying to prove myself on I can do this to this bitch chick, and by the time I figured out it just wasn't the package, it wasn't me, being able to handle this chick and all this shit. I had him, and I'm like, I did some evil things. I rammed her head into the wall and said, I don't want to have this conversation no more. What I'm saying? We get an abortion, and mind you that she's 3 inches taller than me. I'm like 5'8.5", 5'9", and she's 5'11", and I did that thinking that I wouldn't have to deal with this, and maybe I had to fight a brother or something, but whatever, it's just typical black people stuff. And she had him, and she really didn't want him, and I raised him by myself since he was 2.5, and I swear to you, I was called a crackhead, all kind of stuff, and then I was showing one of your videos, and this woman called her dad a crackhead, and my mama didn't have time to teach me how to read and all this stuff. And I wish I could have caught it on tape, because I went into one of your modes where I was like, for real, have you ever met him? Have you ever seen him? No, because he's a crackhead, and how do you know that for sure? And it was just so funny to me. And I showed them that, my people, his aunties and mom and them all say the same thing. I'm a crackhead. And mind you, my mom was on dope, so I would never do that to myself, And it's just still a lie that they tell, and nobody checks them, and nobody does anything about it. It's just, that's what it is. It's just the truth. No matter what people see, they just believe that and just go really for that. And it's really sad, man. Now, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about how can we change that scenario to stop this from being even thought about in our community? What's your goal? Your solution for that?
Well, we have to be careful of who, because everything she is or was, when you fucked her raw, did you not get to know her?
No, I didn't, man. She was my guy's girlfriend, and I knew she wasn't shit. But
you got your homeboy girlfriend, bro. Whoa.
Come on, brother. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? You got your homeboy girlfriend pregnant.
I was proud. Huh?
You got your homeboy
she was
girlfriend pregnant.
I did it. Yeah, man. I was foul, man. But, I was under 25 at the time. I didn't have my crystal form yet. So,
Well, I got some.
That. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I just want to say this to you.
Yeah, you motherfucker. You know who I'm talking to. Yeah, you that motherfucker that betrayed your homeboys and you ain't shit.
Hey, I ain't mad at you, man. Clown me for that. But on some real shit, though, I manned up because my dad only gave me 10 minutes, and I knew that it's important to have a son that knows his dad, man. Because I never met my biological dad. I only know the guy that my Delphine mama married. You see what I'm saying? So, it's a total difference. You know what I'm saying? And me and him don't kick it. His real kids, you know what I'm saying, they graduated college and, they the man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at them. Everything that came, even the child that they had together, you know, he's in prison right now for 35 years. You know, feds. And then he got another 20 years to do, man. So, like I say, you know, I grew up on 83rd and Troop, so, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, I was in the hood, so, you know, it took some years before it came from upper middle class to lower middle class to the hood, but, yeah. You know, I grew up during the 90s. I'm like maybe 4 months older than you, Tommy. Just ain't you? I'm in December.
Yep.
See, I'm in August. I'm August 31st. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm being honest here, and I just want to, you know what I'm saying, ask you what's your solution for this, because there's a lot of delusional cuts out here, and it's delusional men that's been lying on. I know that I got a daughter. Well, not a daughter, a son that I had nothing to do with, and this brought still determines to say, you know, like I say, my son that I raised is 22. He should be like 23, 24. I don't even know this man. I could bump into him somewhere, and me and him get into it, and that's my son I might end up killing, you know? And I was just wondering, like, do you think about those things, or, you know?
And I do. I think a lot of, listen, I think a lot of where we are, and thank you for the phone call, I think a lot of where we are is a bad position.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can find out.
Muted.
Oh, dang, wait a minute. Yeah, we can find ourselves in position. Oh, crap. What did I just do? Okay. Unmuted. We can find ourselves in position because of how we just have kids out there fighting your son dating one of your other daughters dating one of your other sons. A lot of that goes on in the black community anyway, as it is. It is because we just don't care. This man slept with his homeboy's girlfriend, raw. He got her pregnant. He then turns around, or she then turns around and says, well, I'm having it, which is another byproduct of black women. They don't give a shit who get them pregnant. They just having it. And then for the woman to have it and not even want it, and I've seen that several times, we just don't call that out either. In the black community, there's a whole shit ton of women who have babies, collect the child support, but baby live with mom and them.
Yes. And it's like I don't get the fact that, okay, so you made the mistake of sleeping with your homeboy's girlfriend. Once you do that, and she says I'm pregnant, and you know that y'all not trying to get married, have a life, and live together, and this is what you all are gonna do, why do you have that kid? And I think that that's the thing that we have to get into our heads. Stop having children just for the sake of having children. Just stop doing that. The fact that somebody pregnant is not a thing for you to say, oh, well, I'm a man up now, take care of the kid. You know, we can both be, you know, parents. We can do this co-parenting thing. You know, even though we ain't together, like, I'm still taking care of my son. I'm taking care of my daughter. No. If you get somebody pregnant, if a woman is pregnant and she does not have the intention of that man being her husband and living out the rest of their lives together, and he doesn't have the same intention of making her his wife and living out the rest of their lives together, don't have the kid, because now you're being a selfish. You are kid at a disadvantage, and he's gonna be 8, 9, 10 years old, wondering what it's like to have two people in the house, wondering what it's like to go fishing with his father. And it's because you were selfish and irresponsible as a mother, and the father was the same exact goddamn thing, and you hurt that ain't got to do with y'all.
I'm gonna have to get you a new mic. You say too much important stuff for them not to hear. I know it's really messing me. Are you using a webcam or?
I got a webcam, but the mic is not in.
No, I was just wondering. You switch the mic over and see what happens. Just switch it over to the webcam mic.
All right, how's that?
Loud but clear. Let's see. But you remember we got to say more than I can turn you down, but we have to say more than a couple things. But go ahead and reiterate what you were saying. Let's see what happens.
What I was saying was just the simple fact of saying when you are an adult and you having sex with somebody and y'all decide to do the thing and there's a mistake that's made or it's not planned to where you get pregnant. If you are not a mother, a man and a woman, and you all have both not decided to live the rest of your lives together and to raise this child, then don't have the kid. It's not an admirable thing to do to say, well, oh yeah, I didn't mean to get her pregnant, but now that she is, I'm gonna step up and be a man and take care of my son. I'm gonna pay child support and make sure that he's taken care of. You are doing your kid a disservice and you're being selfish. You're trying to prove a point to somebody else or trying to prove a point to yourself by raising a kid in an already disadvantaged situation. If you guys aren't going to live together as husband and wife, and that is not your intention on both sides, not the woman wanting it and the man don't, or vice versa, then don't bring the kid into your own fucked up shit. Because you're doing it for the wrong reasons and you're doing it because you are dysfunctional yourself, whether you realize it or not. There is no perfect situation. I get that, but there are just certain things that you should know better to not do. And raising a kid outside of a home where you both are married and you both have resources to take care of that kid. You broke motherfuckers love each other. That ain't gonna get the job done. You have to be in a position where you can take care of the kid, and you both have to be willing to stay together and live your lives together to raise that kid to do it.
And you got to be functional people beforehand, because remember we talked about these two people. You got two people who had a bunch of money in Bobby and Whitney, but you also had two people who were fucked up before they got together, and they just made each other's they made each other happy unhappy. They didn't help each other get better. They helped each other get worse. And then they had a kid in the midst of that and exposed the kid to that, and now they have a dead mom and a dead daughter.
Yeah. And you know what's so strange about that whole situation? Everybody instantly deemed Bobby Brown
as the villain,
the bad guy and the villain in that whole relationship. Not once did anybody question, well, Whitney, why the fuck you could do that? Ain't doing shit to get high, fucking to want to be his woman. Because she was dysfunctional too, and that's what people didn't realize until towards the end. They didn't realize it, and then they still tried to blame that shit on Bobby.
Hey, that bitch went on Oprah. That's why I stopped liking Whitney Houston. That bitch went on Oprah with her daughter, and they dogged Bobby Brown. She tried to make it seem like Bobby gave her the shit, and people from Newark was like, that bitch was on that shit before she ever met Bobby.
Yes. Yep. And even when he said it, people didn't believe it.
Yeah, they thought he was making the shit up. That nigga was like, that bitch introduced me to that hard shit.
Yes, and that's exactly what it was. And it's like, if you know anything about drug use, especially functioning ones, you can't just mix two people like that. Like, she's just a good, great girl that she's establishing her with. She has all the things she wants. And this dude, Bobby Brown, the fucking villain of the world, has come and taken advantage of her, gotten his hooks into her. Shit don't work like that. It don't. You have those type of people when you got, she didn't have to get shit from Bobby. Bobby didn't do nothing for her career. Nothing at all. So you can't say, well, I wanted an album. I wanted to really make it. And it was just part of his career. What he did. And I felt like if I didn't, he wanted, I wouldn't have made it. She was not a star. She was the star. She was top shelf. It didn't get no better than Whitney Houston at that time when they got together. And that's exactly what she did. She was already in her lane. And she saw that he drove in the same thing she did. She said, well, shit, nigga, let's get in the same car. Do this thing together. And that's exactly what happened. And it just got worse and worse and worse, like it does with most addicts in that sense. She just had money, so it made her look good. Had she been on the block, she'd have fell off maybe about 15 years sooner. But the fact that she had money and she already had the reputation, she had people to help protect her image and all that kind of good stuff, They were able to save her, and they made her look good until the very end, until they couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, even people like Clive and all of them, they were like, man, we trying to cover up for this bitch. She just wilding the fuck out. She hiding a bitch. We having to cancel concerts because this bitch can't sing. The motherfucker forgetting the lyrics to our own song.
Yes.
So it was a bad deal. Let me go to the phone lines and answer a few more people. We'll probably revisit this show again because I want to get your mic and everything correct. 267, caller, you're on the air. Yeah. And it keeps dropping me off of the fucking line. See, and I don't even get told, nigga, you ain't on here no more. It just literally keeps dropping me the fuck off. Something's not right.
Blog Talk Radio.
Like it doesn't tell me, hey, you've been
now in the host queue.
Unmuted.
It don't tell me you've been dropped the fuck off. 267, caller, you're on the air. Sorry.
Hello?
Hey.
Me?
Yes.
Hi.
It is your time to talk. Please speak now. You must turn the
Y'all, I want to tell y'all something.
Taking off speaker.
I don't know if this is. I just really don't feel well. I think I need to eat, and I just because that for some reason that really frustrated me. My shit dropping off, your mic's not working. The people when I answer the phone are saying, "Who, me?" Yeah. Then they don't say anything else. Would you be incredibly upset with me if I just say, I don't want to, this is such a important topic. I don't want to fuck it up like this.
Okay.
With these issues with the phones. So I'm going to reschedule this one to where we get this shit fixed. Cause this is fucked up. Like, I don't want to, if we were just fucking around and just having like jokes and shit, I wouldn't give a fuck. But this is a topic that's so fucking important to me that I want to get this shit right.
That's cool. Let's do it.
All right, let's reschedule. And I sent you get the message I sent about downloading the thing?
Yes.
Download that when I come back from eating because I got to eat. When I come back though, I'm going to test it on, we're going to test a few things. So you and I are going to test some things. And also I'm going to see what kind of mix you have, what kind of setup you have, and anything you need. I'm going to send that to you. So y'all just give us time. We're going to fix this thing. And we're going to, because this is a subject I don't want to fuck up. I want to let you guys get your voices out there too. So, but as far as this, what are your last words? We'll get 2/3 of them, but.
Right.
We gotta treat this motherfucker like some old ancient scrolls. It's some pieces missing, but if we could just figure, Jesus used to kiss Mary on the, what the fuck? There's a blank. I think he kissed her on the pussy. Let's just write that in the book.
Just right there. Put that in there. That's fine. Yeah, keep it going. Boy, I tell you, ain't nothing like having your brother kick you when you're down, baby. If anybody's gonna do it, I want it to be you.
I said at this point I don't want to keep doing it, and I'm gonna make it work. And I'm just like, with that last call, she's like, "Well, what?" No. This is apparently none of this shit works. Tonight ain't the night.
Well, I guess I want to say, I would hope that we would just realize that there is such a need for us to have each other. There is a real need for us to have each other and for us to be on the same page and to stop picking people that are just as broken or more broken than you are. Pick somebody that's better than you so that you can have something that's going to be better than you. At the end of the day, that's what's most important. Your legacy, what you leave in this world, all of the money and all of that stuff, don't mean it if you don't have a legacy. Be a better version of what you And the only way you can do that is to know that you need the other person. A man needs a woman needs a man, and together you all have to both want the best for your child. And you do that by putting yourself in the best situation possible before the kid gets here, before you decide to have children. Set it up to where your child will benefit from the both of you on a day-to-day basis, and that requires you to both be in the home together and on the same page. Not two dysfunctional motherfuckers just trying to make it. Be two dysfunctional motherfuckers trying to be better motherfuckers every day, so that when you do have that kid, the foundation is set and that kid can see a great example of two people trying to become better versions of themselves. Ooh, I just tell that back to the relationship. Yeah, yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. Guys, I want to say to you, I did look, every adult was a kid. Every childhood isn't peaches and cream. Parents are humans. You may have a parent or two parents who love you to death. But you have to remember, a lot of times they don't know about parenting. They were kids that were parented, but they still may not know how to parent a kid. They're two different things. You can be a player that was coached, but not be a good coach. So I don't want to do this show to make parents who did something wrong feel like crap. I want to make kids who were harmed feel better and think before they become parenting. But I think the biggest thing to me is, I don't know why. I wish there were more parenting classes and people took them. I mean, think about it. If you're going to... Something simple is just knowing that this is something you... to me, I don't think you take parenting seriously if you won't take parenting classes, or if you won't take help from other parents, if you won't seek out advice on how to do this thing. Because why wouldn't you if you want to do it right? Motherfuckers go on YouTube all kinds of shit because they want to do it right. YouTube being a fucking parent. Watch some parents.
Yep.
I don't know.
And people even say, you know, it's a conspiracy because the government don't allow us to do those type of things. And it's like, I think I heard you say it, or it was a show that you were doing when somebody said, you know, finances is one of the biggest things and that you will ever have to deal with in your life, and it determines so much, but it's not taught in, you know, elementary school. It's not taught in high school. So it's like, that's something that we need to do for ourselves. And when you have a community and when you have a neighborhood, have, you know, those like-minded people living amongst each other, then you do those kind of things. Those kind of things are passed down, and you don't have to depend on the government to do it. Those are the type of things we need to do. Why aren't there parenting classes in our neighborhoods or in our local churches or whatever the case may be? How come we don't have that? Let's start that. Let's do that.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to pick this back up. And Jules says she read so many self-help books just to do things different. I think we all need to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of people were recognizing that my words are being slurred. I've yawned a lot. I honestly don't know what's wrong. And I told Brian before we went on air, I've been feeling like that all day. I don't know what the deal is. I'm usually not lethargic like this. This is fucking weird. The fucking shit is a little bit disconcerting to me because I can't do something. I'm gonna eat and then see what the fuck is up, because maybe I just need to finish and just go back and lay down.
You be tired, man. We might need to go to the doctor, brother.
Yeah, this is weird. It's just today. I didn't notice it until today. I was like, I've been up since like 9 this morning, but the whole day I've just been feeling out of it. I've been yawning like that all day. I drank a Red Bull. That motherfucker hadn't given me a ounce of energy. I'm just,
No way.
yeah. I just think maybe I'm just supposed. Maybe I was supposed to sleep today. Somebody said I'm sleep deprived. That may be it.
Yeah. You gotta shut down, man. It's your body telling you, hey, need that time.
Yeah. So because I did stay up late and then got right back up at 9. Because I did that show with her and stayed up late and then got up at 9 this morning, couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's it, brother. Get you some rest, man, and man, we can connect and do what we need to do, and I'll show you my setup over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up when I get back, and you download that thing I told you to download, and download.
I will do that.
It walks you through it, but you download that, and we come back, we'll test it and see if that may help with your mic, and then I'll find out what kind of mixer and everything that you have, and what we need to do to get that fixed up. But that may be a quick fix right now. That thing I told you download will may be a quick fix until I get you the other stuff that you may need, or you may already have everything you need. So.
All right.
So let me go and get me something to eat, and then I'll hit you up when I get back.
I do want to give a shout out to people that donated tonight.
Good deal.
I want to say thank you to my brother Tommy Sotomayor, who donated. Hey, love you, brother. Man, I appreciate you.
No problem.
Yes,
man.
indeed. Yes, indeed. I also want to give a shout out to Willie Bethune. He donated as well. Thank you, sir. I want to give a shout out to Eugene Howard. He says, a gift from the Cooniverse. Great show, guys. The Cooniverse. That's good stuff. I also want to give a shout out to what's his other name? There we go. It just says consulting. It says, I love the show and keep up the good work. Love the advice. You have helped me a lot in life. Thank you both. And thank you, brother. It's an honor, man. That's what's up. Let's see. Who else I got here? I also want to give a shout out to Roderick Swain. That one-on-one with the young lady was so good. I had to watch it again. I appreciate your work. You might have meant that for Tommy, man.
It don't matter where it went. It don't matter where it went. It went where it's supposed to go.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Gerald. I don't know how to pronounce this dude's last name, but he does this all the time. Thank you, Gerald. Hoya? Thank you, Brian. No, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Also want to give a shout out to Evelyn LaGrassa. Says, hey, Brian, wishing you the very best. I love watching you and Tommy's show from the northwest side of Chicago, and I want to show a little love. Thank you, Evelyn. Shout out to the northwest side. Yes, indeed. Let's see. I think that is it. Nope. I got Erica Guzman. Thank you so much. Enjoying the show as always. Thank you so much, Erica G. I appreciate it.
She good people.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Latanya Scarborough. Hey, Brian. Love the guru and the. I think she's saying whore, but it's whore. But Tommy are funny. 11/17 is my baby Constant birthday. She would be 15. Oh, that's all right. And if we don't see happy birthday to you, Constance. Diana Powell. Happy to support you, Brian. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Diana Powell from Yuma, Arizona. Is that where they shot that movie 310 to Yuma?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I drove through there just to see it.
Yeah, that's what's up. And then also from my lovely wife, husband, I am so very proud of you. And I find it very rewarding when I see you smiling and happy because you are doing what you love. Helping people to become better versions of themselves. Yeah, girl, way to work that in there. This is just the beginning of what God has in store for you. Tell Tommy I said thank you for the opportunity for the rest of the world to see the very reason I fell in love with you, the guru and the whore, till the world blow up. I love you, Daddy. Girl, I'm going to come on and give you some of this good love in here.
Yeah, you got to go and give her the business. She ain't got to fill out the application or nothing. I didn't apply for this business. Well, you about to get it.
Oh, wait. Latanya donated again. Keep on doing what you're doing. I enjoy you and Tommy together. You guys have good chemistry together. My birthday was 11/03/72. All right. Well, happy belated birthday to you. Oh, and last but not least, this is from the CEO of Tavis Car Rentals. They done sold you a bad mix. I think that's what they say. Them bastard. My man Tavis, aka Super Q. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I think I just probably have fucked up something on my mixer because I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just bought the shit I thought would work. And yeah, so I'm hoping that Tommy can get me squared away, man. I just got you.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk you through it. I'm gonna talk you through it, and if I have to, I'll get you the one that would be better suited. But we'll see what that mixer is and what is it doing and why is it doing that, and then we'll be able to figure it out from there.
Okay. Oh, and also to Jeffrey Wallace. Damn. I did it, Tommy.
What do you say?
I shouldn't have read it. Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm just so used to reading what I see, I don't even pay no attention.
Yeah. That's that Ed 209 man. I'm sorry. But thank you all so much, man. I appreciate you guys. And to all the mods in the room, thank you guys for doing it. I was trying to mod yesterday, and it's a rough deal, man. That chat room is moving too damn fast, man. But I thank you guys for everything that you guys do. I appreciate everybody that came tonight. I hope everybody has learned something. I hope somebody can appreciate what we do and just keep sharing and growing this thing. To my brother, rest. I love you, man.
Somebody said something. I think they may be telling the truth. That I think the show last night took a lot out of me.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion, man.
That was draining. I'm up here doing all that damn crying and shit. Yeah, that may be what it is because I haven't felt like I don't know what the fuck this is. This is a weird ass feeling.
Yeah,
I can't stop yawning. Yeah, somebody said read the donations the next show. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna read them next show. Yeah, I hate to do this. I literally gotta go lay down.
All right, man. Well, go ahead and lay down and eat something, man, and just hit me up later.
I will. I'll talk to all of you guys. Sorry about the show. Sorry about the stuff. We'll make it up to you. I swear we will. Thank you guys, everybody. Y'all be blessed.